We are going to be talking about the wonderful Labour reshuffle, the wonderful reshuffle of the cabinet that just happened under Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
As you framed it, the musical chairs on the Titanic.
Yes. It's very much a case of everybody can see that this is a sinking ship. Everybody can see that this is crashing, but nobody wants to admit it yet, and nobody's calling for an early election just yet. But Labour know what's up. Well, Firas is, yes, that's right. Labour know what's up. They are saying, we know reform have been gaining momentum. Firas has a clear target, rolling back all the progress this and every other Labour government has made.
God, please,
okay,
God.
I'll vote for him now.
Yeah,
yes,
please.
Okay, fine.
I've got my criticisms of Nigel Farage, but if it's half as right-wing as they say, I'll take it.
Exactly. We need as many Labour Party members as possible to make an urgent contribution to our campaign fund.
Oh, I bet you do.
So the fact that they're saying that this is for the campaign fund is a bit of a tell about what they really expect.
Yeah, we've got another 4 years or so, so you should be worrying about campaign.
Yeah, so you know, they're quite worried now, I would suggest, and for good reason. They have a lot of reasons to worry. Firstly, let's talk about Rayner. Aside from the personal criticisms of her importance is that she was the most senior person connected to the Labour unions in government.
She was also representative of the unitary nature of Starmer's cabinet.
Yes.
Because she was working class.
Yes.
And that was one of the main defences. Oh, they just hate a working class woman who makes it good.
Yes.
Like, she also had a libertarian hate of taxes, for paying taxes in her own case.
Yeah, and I am sympathetic to that. But, you know, if she didn't hammer on about everyone else dodging taxes, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal.
So the fact that she's gone means that something of the connection between the Labour unions and the Labour Party is also gone, because the most senior people now who are associated with the union movement in Britain, which underpins the Labour Party itself, that this is an important point to make. The Labour Party has two anchors, the Fabian Society and the Labour unions. One of these anchors is gone, and the most senior people from unions, according to my research, and I'm happy to be corrected, are just assistant whips, which is a pretty junior role. There are two assistant whips that are associated with the Labour unions. That's pretty much it. These are pretty junior roles. So there's nobody now in cabinet speaking for them. And this is happening at a time when Corbyn is working on his own party, the so-called Your Party.
Not just Corbyn, but the Greens as well are very aggressive at the moment. And
the Greens. So there is a sort of pulling apart of the Labour Party that is happening and is accelerated by the resignation of Rayner. So that's one important consequence. We've seen the Conservative Party implode. It's probably not going to recover. It's definitely not recovering under Kemi. And now we're
what
seeing
she said the other day.
That an election is 4 years away. Or
no. She said if you don't like it, leave.
Thank you.
Which people are, incidentally.
Which incidentally
affecting to Farage. But it's just what a ridiculous thing to say.
It was the laughable boomers who voted for her, and now they're shifting towards Farage. So this is going to be quite interesting. So a civil war is brewing within the Labour Party. Thornberry is running. It seems that Starmer wants... Emily Thornberry is running to become deputy Labour leader. She has an axe to grind because she was passed over as Attorney General, and we ended up with Hermer instead, who has been nothing but a disaster.
But probably more competent than Thornberry. I mean, competent but evil.
Which way?
You know, competent
fine.
But evil. You know, you know
fine.
what I mean.
Fine.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
So Corbyn is trying to get Rayner on side. Yep. This will be quite interesting.
And why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he? Thornberry, among others, are running, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But you have to remember that this is happening in a context where Starmer has been told by senior leaders within his party that he could be gone from the party by May, depending on how they perform in the local elections that are scheduled for May.
Well, how are they doing in the polls? Surely Starmer can be like, yeah, but look at my numbers.
Yeah, no.
Last one I saw was Starmer on 11% approval rating, the Labour Party.
Something like that.
11%.
Yeah. Something like that. So it's really quite pathetic. And the person who's replacing Rayner as Deputy Prime Minister is David Lammy. So this is a guy, I mean, he's Guinean, firstly.
Yep.
He's been calling for reparations endlessly for very many years.
2018, yeah.
This is from 2018, exactly.
Sorry, can we just pause on this? I love this. David Lammy, I'm British, quote, we want reparations. Who do you want reparations from?
Who's the we here?
Yeah, what's the we? Exactly. And he says in this speech, Caribbean people. It's like, right, so they're not British. Got it. Understood. Thank you, David.
He's pretty open about it when it's convenient.
He's a famous moron.
Yeah, there's to add to this, there's a very famous clip where people ask him who succeeded Henry VIII, and he says,
I have that here, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I have that here.
And this is an old one. Go on. What?
Yeah.
I mean, let's laugh.
Which American chat show host has business ventures including Harpo Productions and Oxygen Media, which operates a 24-hour cable television network for women?
Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
So he knows this stuff.
Oh, good. Oh.
This is easy peasy. He knows.
Who acceded to the English throne at the age of 9 on the death of his father Henry VIII in 1547?
Henry VII.
Edward VI.
That's not how numbers work.
Look, this is a guy, he was culture secretary at the time, I think, or had done before that, he'd been culture secretary for 2 years. He thought that black smoke and white smoke coming out of the Vatican were racial signals. So when the BBC said, will it be black smoke or white smoke? He said, oh, now you're just being racist.
Yes.
And the BBC was kind enough to make sure that you couldn't read his tweet just to hide the extent.
Very kind, yeah.
So basically, someone allowed to fail upwards.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Oh, his entire
Everywhere.
life.
Pretty
Entire life. Like he got a scholarship back when he was young because he was black, and he got sent to various different law schools.
Went to Harvard.
Harvard, yeah.
Went to Harvard Law School.
Not because he's a genius or even one of our best and brightest, but because he's black, and he's been affirmative action. And then when you look at his constituency of Tottenham, well, it's 22% English. Yeah. So he's just literally a diversity hire. His entire career has been diversity hire. And the thing is, David Lammy's evident brain power has been something legendary. I mean, there are just so many small clips. Like there's one where he's doing an interview with the news, and he's like, look, I just don't see any policemen around. And there's literally one standing behind him in shot. Yes. He's like, no, we haven't seen a policeman all day. It's like, it's like Diane Abbott. It's just actual morons being pushed up because of their race.
And we all have to pretend that they're not morons.
Yes.
And I'm trying to imagine the situation at the dispatch box when it's him and Kemi, when Starmer isn't in the country.
I mean, Kemi is at least not a moron. You know, she's she's not stupid. She's
not as stupid. She's not Diane Abbott stupid.
I don't think she's stupid. I think she's kind of unaware of what British culture is.
I think she's
frankly.
Dull.
Well, I think she's not genius. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
She's not a moron.
The fact that she couldn't ever land a decent punch at the dispatch box, given what an open goal the Labour government provides,
on a daily basis, shows you that there is a level of dullness there underpinning her lackluster performance. The fact that she can't make it to anything on time is quite laughable. It's just, she's just not very bright. That's all. But a more interesting person to look at is what's her first name? Mahmood. Shabana
Mahmood. Now, she's being promoted by The Guardian as someone who is tough on crime, tough on illegal migration.
Just so anyone knows. Yvette Cooper was the Home Secretary?
Yvette Cooper was the Home Secretary. She was given the Foreign Office now.
Yes.
David Lammy was the Foreign Secretary. Yes, I'm sure. David Lammy was the Foreign Secretary. He's been made into the Justice Secretary and to the Deputy Prime Minister. And Shabana Mahmood was the Justice Secretary, and now she's in the Home Office. And she apparently has said that she doesn't like migrants committing crimes, that she thinks that the Pakistani rape gang issue must be dealt with, that she thinks that illegal migration should be dealt with. These are positive signs, but I suspect that there is a little more to it that we need to consider, including some of her views. So we've seen the Liberals sort of objecting here and saying, we shouldn't think about her skin color, we shouldn't think about her religion, we shouldn't think about her sex. This is desperately naive.
So just to be clear, James is a friend of the show and is a decent chap.
He's a great guy.
He's
done very good work.
Very good work.
A very respectable, brave man.
However, this is the last paradigm's opinion on the origins of peoples.
Yes.
And I think it's not correct.
Exactly.
And this is what I'm arguing with him in this thread.
Exactly.
Saying, look, these things aren't incidental. Mahmood is, she's many videos of her praising Islam and saying how it informs everything that she does.
Yep.
And then, of course, you get this as well. Oh, attack her for her politics, not what she says, not for who she is. It's like, well, I'm sorry, but you've been attacking us for who we are for decades.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you can't just be like, well, let's just talk about politics, guys. Like, no.
She's been talking about the importance of racial justice and things like that forever, and then she wants us to ignore.
That goes away, does it?
Yeah, exactly. When it suits her. So Shabana Mahmood has been quite supportive of the Palestinians endlessly. She's been protesting left and right. She's signed letters to release a child rapist because he was being deported. We should consider that. When she says that the Labour Party has lost Muslim voters' trust over Gaza, well, it sort of accepts the premise that these are different communities with different beliefs, different identities, different values, different operating principles, and therefore different interests. And it's embedded in that question.
But also, we all come from a community. And she is talking, and just like the things she's like, these are the product of these positions, this politics is the product of her coming from this community.
Precisely.
Now, I'm not saying that Shabana is some sort of radical jihadi or something like that. Obviously, she's not. But I don't want to say prejudice because it seems like a hard word, but like the natural disposition towards that community is favourable to give grace to that community. Yes. And that means the natural disposition on other sides, if we're going to go for implicit bias, like we were told for so many years that everyone had, it's going to be against other communities.
But also,
sorry,
apologies.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I wanted to say that she is now a member of the government of England.
Yes.
So
does it make sense?
Presumably she would care about solving English problems instead of trying to do the thing.
That's a wonderful point.
Greta, where Palestinian liberation and climate emergency are the same thing.
But
it's all connected.
But this is
trans
the point,
liberation and queers in Palestine.
But this is the point, though. Just because you're like, right, you're being put into the government of Great Britain doesn't mean that the natural bias and sentiments towards the certain community disappears. This doesn't go away, and it informs everything she does, as she tells us.
Well, here she is commenting about English flags.
The people that you see holding the English flag, most of the time, down my neck of the woods, will be the EDL, and they are white, and they are male, and they're bad people, and they want to divide our communities from one another.
Whoa, hang on a second. They're bad, they're white, they're English, they're male, and they want to divide. Sorry, why do the EDL exist? They exist because of the Muslim rape gangs that were operating for decades, and the police, as Jess Phillips admitted, were involved, that she knew about, and nobody did anything.
Were involved in the rapes themselves.
And not just the cover-up. Not just the cover-up. And Shabana has got the temerity to say, no, the EDL were the bad guys.
They're the bad guys because they are mostly white and male.
And English.
So the idea that you can separate her external appearance, her identity, her original nationality, etc., whatever you want to call it, the idea that you can separate this from her politics is belied by her own fucking words.
But also,
she literally says it.
There's another question that if we take her rhetoric in its entirety, what percentage is anti-white and what other percentage is anti-grooming gangs?
Well, has she ever said anything anti-Islam?
Let's see. That's a great question, Carl.
Islam, my own religion, like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life. It is the absolute driver of everything that I do. I feel a very strong calling of my own conscience, and my conscience calls me to God. That is how.
Okay, well, I mean, that seems to settle.
That kind of settles things.
Yeah.
That kind of simplifies things.
I know where her loyalties lie now, and it's not with Britain. It's not with England. It's not with the people here.
Exactly.
Okay, well.
And the idea that these things are completely separate, that you can separate identity from politics, is belied by the last 50 years of effort to create a society that is blind to religion, is blind to origin, is blind to ethnicity, and the reaction that this effort has begotten.
And not only that, that whole society presupposed an overwhelming absolute majority of ethnic homogeneity. And, okay, we've got 5 to 10% around the edges who we're not going to be mean to because of who they are, because they will just never have the kind of institutional power and community power to do any damage with their own intrinsic biases towards themselves and against what we want. So we can have the fiction of the colorblind universal meritocratic society, and they have no choice but to play in our sandbox.
Exactly.
But that time is rapidly coming to a close now. That time is gone.
Because of the speed of the demographic change that all of Europe is experiencing.
Yep.
And so Starmer is going to push nice Miss Mahmood to become the deputy party leader.
But to see off the left, right?
To see off the left. So he's going to
This is the Kemi Badenoch strategy.
There's a beautiful line here, which is that the Labour Party has a huge number of Muslim members and they will all vote for. Here it is. This is from a Labour insider. This is not from us racists at the Lotus Eaters. There are huge numbers of Muslim members of the Labour Party, and they would vote for Shabana.
Why?
In addition, she won't be a problem for the leadership.
Why
would they vote against along religious lines? I
why
don't
wouldn't
get
they
it.
vote for Angela Rayner? What are we talking about here?
So
what's the difference?
When Labour insiders say that Muslims will vote for fellow Muslims, that's okay. When the Lotus Eaters say that Muslims will support other Muslims, that's bigotry.
Yeah.
Somebody explain to me the rules here.
Well, the rules are FU.
That's
the rules.
That's
you know that's
it. That simplifies it.
You know how this works.
Yep. Here's a nice picture of her. She was protesting outside of a Sainsbury's shop, trying to shut them down because they had Israeli products, or she says products from illegal Israeli settlements, which, look, I'm not a big fan of what Israel does.
No, I don't particularly like Israel.
The fact that she is a partisan to this conflict reflects her broader worldview, and to pretend otherwise is naive beyond belief.
I mean, she literally tells us that the people who defend English identity are the bad guys, and Islam informs everything she does. And the Labour Party then tell us, the Muslims will vote for her on these grounds.
Yes.
So why would I expect
anything
that didn't have the kind of implicit bias that she obviously demonstrates?
Exactly. And so just to sort of try to close this with a couple of points, it seems pretty obvious that Starmer wants to use Mahmood to try to help with some issues on illegal migration, maybe oversee some kind of milquetoast inquiry into the grooming gangs that doesn't expose anybody. But it also seems very obvious that what is going to happen is that the migration numbers, the legal migration numbers, will not come down in any way. There will be a focus on illegal migration, which is 5% of the total, and she will be used to sort of bridge the divide with some of the Muslim community, help Keir Starmer electorally, pretend that there's been some meaningful achievements when the actual bigger problem, legal migration, gets completely unaddressed, and we know that she will favor her co-religionists in migration policy. And it is naive to pretend otherwise.
She's being put in charge of the department that deals with legal migration,
which has a very large Muslim network, and that Muslim network has been sufficiently effective to deny refugee status to Christians genuinely fleeing persecution.
Remember when Rishi Sunak was put in charge, and he was like, 250,000 Indians a year. This has nothing to do with me being Indian.
Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely nothing to do with it. But this isn't
Stelios and Charles have 250,000 Greeks a year. Well, that's better, right?
It's an improvement.
It's a massive improvement, frankly. But anyway,
It's an improvement.
I'll be the local chieftain.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But really, what's surprising about the reshuffle is that Ed Miliband survived, meaning that Starmer is fully committed to the net zero lunacy, meaning that the economy will continue to tank. Of all the people to survive, exactly. And what's also surprising is that Rachel Reeves survived.
Yeah.
And it's important because I think Starmer is getting ready to get rid of her, but maybe after a different crisis.
Maybe. I mean, we're currently in just a sort of rolling crisis at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is literally a perma crisis.
Yeah.
So what's been happening is that Starmer has been strengthening his own economics team, including by taking Reeves' own deputy and putting him in number 10, and by appointing a range of new economic advisors.
Really?
And he's announced a super ministry that's going to focus on economic growth. And it isn't clear how that is going to work with the Treasury. Meaning that Reeves is being stripped of her power and being prepared to be the next sacrificial lamb when the gilt markets act up once more. So this is what's kind of happening. This is a sinking ship, and Starmer is trying to figure out a way of staying on top of it for as long as he can. And sorry, but to plug in my own website, I've written about the next financial crisis that's probably coming to Britain. And the timing of the next election, the next local election in May, is going to be an interesting starting point for a lot of this stuff.
I mean, Farage is convinced it'll be next year. End of next year after the May elections at some point.
Very possible.
And I mean, I would be shocked. And I remember having this conversation last year with someone saying, "Well, do you think he's really going to fill out his term?" And they're like, "Well, why wouldn't he?" It's like, because he's not going to do a good job. And here we are, a year in, everyone hates him. The country's going terribly.
Yes.
There's no fixing the system from within, basically.
No.
I'd be shocked if he lasts.
And I sadly can't see any room for course correction.
No, they can't go anywhere.
They're too ideological.
Yeah.
They're too ideological.
Every time where you think maybe something's going to change with them, they end up making things worse.
You think Rachel Reeves is going to come in one day and go, "I found this book by a guy called Milton Friedman. And I think he's making a lot of good points, you know." And they'll sit around and go, "What? Who?
Yeah.
Never heard of him," which entirely possible they've never heard of him. But like, I don't think they're going to change. I think they're too committed.
Also, not just Milton Friedman, but also the Social Democrats of Denmark. They ultra right wing.
Yeah.
In comparison to them.
Yeah, anyone at all that's, not theirs. Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.loadseaters.com.